What's up, everybody? Hope your night is going smooth. So it's Saturday, 9:30. Probably all doing cool stuff out there. So that's awesome. Anyway, so I noticed that the last two videos that I made, they were like over 10 minutes each. I think one of them was actually 15 minutes. And yeah, everybody these days has pretty hectic lives for the most part. So I'm gonna try to tighten it all up and get these videos to like at least under 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if I could kind of condense stuff a little better. So yeah. Also, I've noticed that a lot of these people out there they have a tendency of repeating stuff. If you look into like Tony Robbins or just a lot of these people, they tend to repeat themselves a lot. If you watch enough videos, if you go through every every little last drop of their content, you'll find that they're saying the same stuff over and over. And I mean, you see that too, like crossing the gap between individuals like Tony Robbins and Napoleon Hill and Wayne Dyer and Ty Lopez, and you get to a point where if you absorb enough of that stuff, you realize they all are kind of echoing each other to a certain degree. And I'm not denying the fact that that's what I'm doing to a degree too. I didn't create this stuff. These are just basically uh, universal laws or principles that I've sort of gathered for myself and I'm just relaying. So I'm not at all taking credit. I didn't come up with any of this stuff. I just learned it, and I'm trying to just spread it further. So anyway, um, so what I was thinking about today was basically the power of habits. And I know it seems obvious, but if it is so obvious, like one of the best examples is, your diet and your exercise routine. It's like, if it's so obvious how powerful habits are, then how come we have the ratio that we have, at least in America, of people who eat crap food all day long, junk food, and just stuff that's crap for you, and don't get any exercise, versus the people who are consistently eating clean and consistently exercising, where that's just part of their life, just like clockwork. It's just clean food, exercise every day. One of the staples of life, or two of the staples of life, rather. So I think sometimes it's possible to get what Tony Robbins refers to as mixed anchors, where basically you're misidentifying a behavior that is positive for something negative, or the other way around, where you're misidentifying a behavior that is negative as something positive. So examples of that, you could look at things like alcohol or smoking cigarettes. In other words, you feel like you're relaxing if you have a cigarette, but the reality is it's not making anything better in the long run. So it's kind of just like a what's it called? Like a mirage in the desert type thing. Anyway, when it comes to the general sort of power of habit, though, if you think about it, what your life ends up sort of blossoming into is essentially just a sum, or the sum rather, of all of the habits that you're applying on a daily basis with consistency over a long period of time, And again, great example is diet and exercise. If you're eating super, super clean and exercising consistently every day over, an extended period of time, the person that you're going to become and the people you're going to attract into your life and the situations and circumstances you're going to find yourself in, and um, your capacity to travel and work and do certain things being increased, that's all going to be the result of initially just those habits of eating clean and exercising consistently every day like clockwork. And so that's a good little example from my perspective of how powerful habits are in general, because with the diet and exercise thing. Well, anyway, the point is you become your habits, and your habits physically are a sort of extension to a certain degree of your thought process. In other words, if you think about something enough, eventually you're going to figure out how to translate, whether you're doing it consciously or subconsciously, you're going to eventually convert that thought process into behavior patterns. And if you're consistent with those behavior patterns, that's going to dictate where you go, how you spend your time, all that stuff, the kind of people you talk to, and that ultimately dictates the life that you end up having. So essentially, I think my point here is basically that we all owe it to ourselves to be more conscious of our habits and to do what is within our power to be more efficient in those habits. Because if every one of us was making the effort to just like get tough on ourselves and just, all right, throw away the bad habits, honestly, just throw them out. And if you need something to keep yourself busy or to take the space of that bad habit, okay, fill it up with something positive. If you throw away alcohol, or if you throw away cigarettes, or whatever your thing is, pot, or you throw away people in your life who are taking up time and kind of making you feel good, but ultimately they're negative people, they're toxic people. Okay, you throw those people away. You can fill up that time rather, with positive habits. You can replace it with reading and making yourself smarter. You can get more exercise. You can focus on positive things if you throw away negative habits. Anyway, the point is, the general power of habit is huge, because that's what you become. You become the sum of your habits. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to throw that out there about about habit. The general sort of power of it, and again, it kind of comes down to being conscious of your habits in the first place, and then being deliberate enough or intentional enough with yourself to where you're willing to just, like, no holds barred. You're willing to just chuck the negative stuff and fill it up with positive stuff. But yeah, just be conscious of how you're spending your time, and start getting rid of the negative stuff, and start filling it up with positive stuff, and try to just make it a point to be more conscious of the general power and influence that your routine and your habits has over your future ultimately. So anyway, all right, I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you're having a great night. All right, take care.